Hi, I'm Naria, a functional gut health registered dietitian. And if you're watching this, there's a good chance you're dealing with digestive issues and are most likely already working with an amazing provider. But if you're not, it's okay. You're going to learn a lot today about how fiber connects to your digestive issues. Today, my goal is simple: to teach you what I like to call the fiber game and how it connects to most digestive issues. I want to support the work that you're already doing. The key is to learn about how fiber connects to your condition. Learning the right way to increase, how to increase is going to be the game changer. We want to be safe. We want to be strategic. We spend a lot of time talking about SIBO, acid reflux, bloating, methane production, inflammation. You know what's the one thing most patients get stuck and confused with? Fiber progression. Insoluble versus soluble fiber. Fiber diversity to feed all the different good bacteria in your digestive system. And how to increase fiber without triggering flare-ups. Most gut symptoms don't improve because people never rebuild their gut microbiome. You see, part of rebuilding is going to include fiber. And most people dealing with digestive issues are scared of fiber. Can you relate to that? I know I can. A lot of people get stuck with low FODMAP diets when it was only meant to be followed short term. The fear of food, it is so real because of past issues with you ate something, flare up. And not only the pain of the flare, but the recovery process. Honestly, most people avoid fiber because it simply hurts. But the truth is, unstructured fiber hurts, not fiber itself. And I want to teach you that. I want to make you feel very comfortable about how fiber connects to your gut issues. Now, in my practice, I've worked with thousands of human beings at this point who have been dealing with digestive issues for anywhere from 5 weeks to 30 years plus. And here's what I consistently see. Most people are eating about 5 to 10 grams of fiber a day. And to actually heal, the goal should be at a minimum 30 grams of fiber. Now, there are some cases that lower fiber intake will be mandatory, but that's for your provider to support you. They'll walk you through what your fiber goal will be. Either way, it's not going to be 5 to 10. The thing is, the gut does need time to get to that fiber goal. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, especially if you're already dealing with digestive issues. When people try to add fiber, usually that includes salads, broccoli, beans, different types of fibers. But too often, all these fibers are added too soon, too fast. And that's an issue because the gut isn't ready for it. What usually happens is a flare-up, bloating, constipation, diarrhea. All those are symptoms that your body's saying, oh, hold your horses, not yet. But because of those symptoms, fiber is labeled the enemy, but it's not. The real issue here is just not understanding how fiber connects to your symptoms and how to increase it. In my experience, most gut healing protocols work faster and even smoother when fiber progression is built into the plan. Now, it's not always butterflies and rainbows, but the goal is to go slowly, listen to the body, and take a step back when needed, with the support of your provider. Every gut healing protocol needs a few steps. The first one, know your starting point. You see, before you start to throw fiber goals into your life, you want to make sure you know where you're at. Like I said, most people are about 5 to 10 grams a day of fiber. The first step is log. I know it's tedious, but I'm telling you, it's such a game changer. I've done this with thousands of people. It really does work. Log your fiber for about 1 week. Let's see what's going on. We want to be aware of the problem because remember, awareness precedes change. If we know you can safely have 5 grams of fiber a day, that's going to be the starting point. But you don't want to have a random starting point. It needs to be based off of your body. And that's when the support of your provider comes into play. The next step is fiber progression. For most individuals, I do recommend increasing by 2 to 3 grams of fiber every 3 to 7 days. This time frame will be based on the severity of your gut issues, and again, your provider is going to support you. But you need to go slow. This should prevent drastic bloating and other severe digestive issues. The next thing to consider is the type of fiber. There's soluble versus insoluble fiber. Think of soluble fiber like chia seeds, nice and soft. Soluble fiber is really nice and easy, and it supports absorbing even cholesterol and supports blood sugar levels. Usually I have people start with this type of fiber. Insoluble fiber, think of it as roughage, the skin of the apples. That's a little bit of a tougher cookie, so you want to be careful with insoluble. That doesn't mean that you don't want to eventually bring it in. You will need to, but you will have to determine via symptoms of what your body's telling you how much soluble versus how much insoluble fiber. Once you determine the right fiber to start with, which most cases is soluble fiber, you want to start to increase by those 2 to 3 grams. This, my friend, is what creates a resistant gut microbiome, because you're feeding the keystones, the good bacteria in your gut that protect you. This is what's going to improve motility, inflammation, and the gut lining, aka support healing leaky gut. Now, I want to take a quick little break because I want to show you how to find different soluble and insoluble fibers. I want to show you how to read nutrition facts panels and how to log. So let's take a quick break between the sessions and let's get right into some examples. So let's say you're curious, what is insoluble and insoluble fiber? I always want to have you confirm with your provider to be safe. Your provider should be available to you between the sessions. The easiest thing you could do is utilize the internet, right? So go here and say, give me 10 examples of soluble fiber. And he'll have some examples. You can have this list, copy it, share it with your provider and say, hey, how are these? Move forward. Then you can say, give me some examples of 10 examples of insoluble fiber. Same thing. It's going to give you a whole example. So these are your lists that you can start with. Now, remember, logging is huge. You have to be aware of how much fiber you're eating to determine how you have to increase. I'm going to show you using the example of the platform that I use. Now, the one that I have for my patients is called Practice Better, and this is just like a little sample here. So let's say I want to log breakfast. And let's say for breakfast, I have some blueberries. Maybe I have a cup of blueberries. Here on Practice Better, your platform will have, it may look a little bit different, but it'll give you all the nutrition facts. And what I want to know here is how much fiber am I getting here? 1.6 grams of fiber for a half a cup of blueberries, which is fair. That's fair. So I'm going to save that. Then let's say I had some protein, so maybe some egg whites. We'll just use this here. That'll be fine. And maybe I had a sourdough toast. Portions are off, but that's actually a pretty typical breakfast for me. I like those 3. Okay, so that's breakfast. Moving forward, let's say I'm just in my awareness stage. I don't know how much fiber I'm eating. This is just a normal breakfast. So I'm logging my breakfast. Lunch, let's say for lunch, maybe I had some, what do I typically have for lunch? Usually I will have some sweet potatoes. Let's see, I had a medium sweet potato. Oh, that's actually the recording that we're working on right now. So I had a sweet potato. Maybe I had some ground turkey. 3 ounces is fine. And maybe some black beans. I personally love black beans. Usually don't have a full cup. I'll do like 0.5. So let's say that was my lunch. Moving forward for dinner, maybe I had some salmon, classic. I had some salmon. I love broccoli with my salmon, so I'll add some broccoli. Okay, and then maybe I had some, what would I have with this? Maybe some potatoes or something. I think potatoes would be good. A medium potatoes fair. Okay, so then step 1 is log. Log on whatever food journal you have with your provider. or use Nutrition IX. Find something that you feel comfortable with and that your provider approves with. Then you're going to log your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. If you are having snacks, obviously add your snacks to see where you're at. Then the question is, where am I actually at? So that's where you go into your nutrition facts and look at your day to see how many calories you had and everything. But right now we're specifically focused on fiber, so I'm not going to go crazy with everything else. But you see, if I have those 3 meals, I had 19 grams of fiber. Most people are getting between maybe 8 to 10 grams of fiber a day. We should be at least at 30 grams a day, unless you have very severe digestive issues, then your provider is going to help you. But let's say my baseline is 19. Well, now I'm aware that my baseline is 19, but I do recommend you log for about a week to see, because maybe today I'm at 19, tomorrow I'm at 10, and then I'm at 30. So I want to kind of get to know where I'm usually at. Then you're going to add all those numbers and then divide by 7. So let's say, essentially just divide all the numbers, divide by 7 is going to give you your average amount of fiber. And that's where you're going to start to determine how much fiber you need to increase. Now, another thing I want to show you, because maybe you don't have a system or you're at the store and you want to start to really get comfortable with nutrition facts panels. And I want you to really start to consider reviewing this when you're at the grocery store. So we're going to pretend we're going to Whole Foods together. Let's see what we find. Okay, on frozen fruit. Okay, we're getting some frozen fruit, and today we want to get some sliced peaches, and we want to know how much fiber this has. Okay, so the nutrition facts, usually there's a little picture here. For some reason, they're not having it here today, but they do have this nutrition information area. So let's take a peek. So we're focused on fiber. Here we have 2 grams of fiber for 1 cup. So make sure you have your measuring cup. So 1 cup of frozen peaches is going to give you 2 grams of fiber. Review that there's also no added ingredients, because sometimes these things have extra stuff. So it just has the peaches and no extra sugar. Okay, so then we just get 2 grams of fiber, and then that's kind of where it ends. Let's say we get some frozen vegetables. And let's say today we just want some mixed veggies. We're not trying to go crazy with it. Just tell me. Okay, so you see, usually this is where they have the picture. So this whole container, so this whole bag is going to give us 5 servings per container. So the whole bag can give us 5 different servings. Each serving is 2/3 cup. So make sure you have your measuring cup. Each serving is going to give us 3 grams of fiber. This is very, very important. There's no added sugars or anything. It is just the veggies. So as you're starting, make sure you're logging. How much am I actually eating? 2/3 cup is going to give you 3 grams. Okay, perfect. Start to get comfortable reviewing how many servings per the entire container. What does 1 serving look like? How much fiber am I actually getting? And another issue we may have is the fat, because with a lot of digestive issues, it's going to be a fiber issue or a fat issue. But for now, we're mainly focusing on fiber. So what's the serving size? How much fiber? Look at the nutrition facts. Get very comfortable with this. This is going to be part of your healing process. You have to get very comfortable with knowing what you're actually eating. What are you feeding your body? Let's do one more. Let's just say we want something like this. And here we have 3.5 servings per container. So the whole container is going to give us 3.5 servings. 1 serving size is how many dumplings? 3 dumplings. If you have a scale, 66 grams. 3 dumplings. So 3 dumplings is going to give us 4 grams of fiber. 4 grams of fiber. So start to add it. If I have the dumplings with maybe the veggies, how many grams of fiber am I having total? And the goal, friend, is to make sure that you're dividing it between meals. So I want you to start to practice that, and let's finish up the video. Now I'm going to outline each step, and I want you to note these down. Ready? You have your pencil, paper, your phone, your tablet, computer. You have something to note this down? Great, let's get to it. Number 1, track your fiber. There's different applications. You may already have one with your provider. I personally use Practice Better in my practice, But also another app, in case you're not working with a provider or maybe you don't have a tracking app, Nutrition IX is pretty solid. Track for about 5 to 7 days. Then you can determine where your baseline's at. And being honest, most people are shocked at how much fiber they're actually eating. Step number 2, start with soluble fiber first, because like I mentioned, it's a little bit easier than insoluble fiber. Insoluble fiber, it is rough. So start with something that's nice and soothing, nice and soft to your gut. Examples of soluble fiber include chia seeds, flax seeds, cooked squash, or carrots. A nice and easy fiber supplement to add during the stage may be something like sun fiber, but talk to your provider on which one's right for you. Step 3, add one fiber at a time and wait 2 to 3 days before popping up to the next 2 to 3 grams. But if you have to wait a little bit longer, it's okay. We want to go based on your gut, not your neighbors, not your mom, not your kids, your gut. This is how you prevent the bloating and the pain. Because remember, fiber isn't actually absorbed, it's pushed. This means your body has to do more work as you increase your fiber. And we want to gradually train our body to adjust and be able to do the work of this additional fiber. Think of it this way. If someone asked you to do push-ups and they said, hey, do 10 push-ups, and you've never done it before, you may struggle a little bit, right? But if they said, hey, do one with your knees, that may be pretty fair. You go from 1 with your knees, 2 with your knees, then 1 without knees, 2 without knees. It's a progression. Same with fiber. Next step, friends, this is crucial. Please do not skip this. Don't skip any, but this is crucial, and I feel like 99% of people totally do skip this step. And I'll be honest, I used to do this too. So the next step, make sure you balance your fiber between 3 meals. You don't want to blast your body with a lot of fiber at once. Remember, your body has to work to push the fiber. So you need to make sure it is balanced between 3 meals, some in the morning, some midday, some in the afternoon. That way your body can do some of the work from one meal to the next. Balance between 3 meals is key. You're going to be increasing your fiber until you meet your fiber goal based on either your symptoms, what your body can tolerate, or the goal your provider gave you. After you work on increasing your fiber and going from soluble to adding some insoluble fibers, you want to work on diversifying your fibers. Some reds, some purple, some whites, some raw, some cooked. Because you have a lot of different good keystones in your gut, and they have different food preferences just like you do. Some like oats, some like apples. So you want to make sure you consider them all and start to diversify. So friends, those are my steps. I'm telling you, I have tried these and continue to try these with all of my patients. This worked for thousands of people, and it can work for you. It's all about strategy and listening to what your body tells you. If you're working with a functional provider, you're already in great hands. What I want to do here today is enhance what you're already doing. To be honest, fiber is one of the most important aspects of healing your gut. But it's very confusing, and I hope you found this helpful. Now, when you combine advanced testing, I personally love functional to stool tests, targeted supplements, and slow fiber progression, that works so good. I find patients heal faster, they're more stable. They break the cycle of flare-ups and even the fear of food, which is huge. Remember, friends, the goal is not to remove foods, is to add foods back. But in order to do that, you have to work on building a resilient gut. It will demand patience, and it will demand consistency. Hang in there. I hope you found this helpful, but comment below. Share. Do you want to learn a little bit more about certain fibers, maybe playing around with recipes? I can definitely make a part 2. Now, you have a job to do. Follow the steps, work with your provider, and get that gut healed.